It is important to realize where interference occurs in components in a robotic assembly. Select Tools, Interference Detection. Select on the components to check for interference. I am selecting the gear and the axle. Click Calculate. There is an interference volume that is displayed. This will be an issue if the axle and gear are manufactured. Let's see early in the design process if we can adjust this value. You can open a component from within the assembly. Right-click Edit Part. You are now editing the component in the context of the assembly. Double-click on the Extrude feature. Double-click on the dimension 3.18. You can modify the value to 3.175. Click Rebuild. This will also change the property in a design table if you have utilized Excel. Changing this property will update the table, the part, and the assembly. Click Tools, select Interference Detection. Click Calculate. Now there are no interferences. Before you manufacture a machined or plastic part, make certain you check for interference. This is very important in robotic design. You can display the number of decimal places differently than how your default precision is calculated. In this case, I've displayed my value to 3 decimal places. Select Edit Component to return to the assembly. Let's see how collision detection can help me with this robot arm. As I click and drag the robot arm in Move Component, I want to utilize collision detection and check Stop at Collision. Now my arm will stop when it comes across a component that it collides with. The component will be displayed in green, and if Sound option is checked, you will hear an audio sound. I now know the range of my arm before it collides with another component. You can utilize Exploded View to make sure all your components can be assembled, but you want to disassemble in the order in which the components would be added. So for instance, I am first removing the collar, then I will remove the wheel and tire. You can utilize 2 or more components in the assembly to explode by selecting the Control key first. Notice how I move 2 shaft collars at one time, and then I will move 2 tires and 2 wheels. If I prepare my exploded view as if the components would be assembled in manufacturing, I can see virtually errors in the assembly. Right-click on the default configuration, click Animate Collapse. Animate Collapse shows you now the procedure in which the wheels first go on the assembly, then the collars. Always stop the animation and close the controller so that you can return to the assembly. You want to save the assembly in its collapsed state and its default configuration. Control the animation and the display of the exploded view in the drawing or in additional assemblies. Return to the Assembly Feature Manager. In addition, you can save a lot of time in the assembly process by selecting on hardware and storing it in folders. I have all these rivets. If I shift select from the first rivet to the last rivet, I can right-click Add a new folder. For the folder name, use something descriptive, like rivets. Now all my rivets reside in a folder. I can suppress or hide this folder with one command.